Hey there. Today we're going to Glen Ellen, California, and we're going to go visit Robert and Laura Schermeister at Schermeister Winery. They have the smallest winery with a tasting room in Napa or Sonoma. But you know what the good news is? The good news is the wines are top flight. It's really one of the most amazing little wineries you've ever been to. Robert has worked for some of the best artisanal wineries in Napa and Sonoma, and now he's got a little place on his own. He and Laura are doing just tremendous stuff. This is winemaking with a real personal touch. You're really going to love it. The wines are spectacular, and of course, you're going to like Eli as well. You'll see what I mean when you go in. Come on. It takes a little bit to get to Schermeister Winery, but the Sonoma back roads are beautiful and an easy, fun ride. In 2012, Robert Schermeister, who made wine for cult producers like Aubert and Palmer, knew it was a perfect year for Pinot Noir. He took the plunge and made 125 cases of Napa Valley Pinot Noir under his own label, Schermeister Winery. He used native fermentation techniques. He acquired licenses, bonds, and a website. In September 2013, Laura Erickson, a graphic designer living in Charlotte, North Carolina, but who was a native of California, quit her job, sold her home, and got a 2-month cellar job at Olivia Bryan Winery in Napa Valley. In March of 2014, she received an email from a young man who had just started his own winery. His name was Robert Schermeister. Robert hired Laura to design his website. During their second meeting, Robert gave Laura a bottle of his wine, and they talked for 6 hours, and that really was the end of that. The couple was married at their home on Mount Veeder in 2017. Today, Robert and Laura are the sole owners and operators. Their tasting studio is located in the historic Jack London Village in Glen Ellen, California, and their dog Eli seemingly and happily runs the place. Schermeister Winery is one of the hottest boutique wineries in the Napa or Sonoma region. Robert has done a great job of making all natural wines that have super concentrated fruit and are fresh and forward and really fabulous. They are a boutique winery making 750 to 1,000 cases in their best year. Robert and Laura are all hands-on. They tend to pick most of their own fruit and are incredibly choosy. He does native fermentation, open top. All of his wines are unfiltered. The Schermeister Rosé Field Blend is 70% Cabernet Sauvignon and 30% Cabernet Franc. It's harvested from Oakville Station in Napa Valley and is aged in neutral barrels. The wine is flush with fresh-cut strawberry, a hint of white peach, and exhibits a lovely creaminess that gives way to a refreshing finish. Schermeister Viognier is from Solomon Vineyard in Sonoma Valley. Aromas of guava and pineapple dominate. 70% neutral oak, 30% new French oak. Lots of fresh, great acidity. Easily one of my favorites from the tasting. Schermeister's Laura's Chardonnay, 90% Clone 4 Chardonnay, 10% Muscat Clone. It was aged in 40% new oak and 60% neutral oak. The fruit was picked September 28th, 2017, 2 weeks before the fires of that year. Big mouthful of apple and pear, a touch of baked crust like pear or apple tort. It's almost Palmeyer-esque, and I mean that in the best possible way. This was an absolutely gorgeous Chardonnay, stunning. Eli also assisted in the tasting. Food, wine, and travel journalist Elizabeth Smith and I were happy for his company. The next 2 Pinot Noirs were absolutely outstanding. The 2016 Pinot Noir was from the Wohler Vineyard in Russian River Valley. 40% was aged in new French oak, the rest in neutral. Big wafting nose of cherry cola, a big and juicy cherry. Truly was like the best cool climate style Pinot I've ever had. Robert and Laura call it their ballerina Pinot Noir because it's so light and beautiful, and I have to agree.
Hi everyone, my name is Laura Schermeister and I am coming to you from Schermeister Winery here in Glen Ellen, California. We're about 10 minutes north of downtown Sonoma and we were talking about Pinot Noir today. So a little bit about myself. I am the graphic designer, creative person behind Schermeister Winery, and my husband is the winemaker, and it is just the two of us. We are the smallest winery in Sonoma with a tasting room at about 750 cases a year. So if you're looking for that small, intimate vibe, we are definitely it. We are talking about Pinot today. This is really where my husband, Rob Schermeister, got his start. He started with 125 cases of Pinot Noir from Napa Valley. We have slowly migrated west to where it's a little bit cooler for us, and we are going to the Petaluma Gap AVA. It is a brand new appellation that was designated in 2017, which is very exciting. The Pinot we're looking at right now is our 2017 Terra de Promisio Vineyard Pinot Noir. It is earthy, it is rich, it has some raspberry notes in it. Best of all, being from the Petaluma Gap AVA, right close to the Sonoma coast, it gets the cool coastal fog that comes in and just blankets the vineyard, keeping the very finicky, delicate Pinot Noir fruit nice and cool. And then, being in Sonoma, kind of a little bit off the coast, you get really nice, hot, sunny days that really gets the sugars going in the fruit. So what you can expect from this particular Pinot Noir is definitely a fruit-forward Pinot Noir, lots of rich layers of earth and spice. And we do about 40% new oak on this Pinot Noir, so just enough to give it that kind of warm spiciness, but not so much that it dominates the fruit. So this is very indicative of Rob's winemaking style. It is also native fermented and unfiltered, which is a really fun way to make wine in very small quantities. We're doing wines that are very terroir driven. Talking about a sense of place, it doesn't get any more sense of place than a native fermented wine. So we are very proud of these wines, and we do a lot more fun varietals here at the tasting room, and we hope you come by and visit us.
We then tasted the two Scavenger Syrahs. The 2017 was from Tumbas Vineyard in the Shenandoah Valley Lower Sierra Foothills in Amador County. 97% Syrah, 3% Viognier, 18 months in oak, 15% in new, the rest in neutral oak. A lovely Syrah with plum and dark cherry, but with some floral notes, a touch of caramel and a hint of earthiness. 20% of all the profits on this wine goes to the International Bird Rescue. The Schermeister Scavenger Syrah 2018 was 90% Syrah, 10% Viognier. Big nose of lovely dark cherry, some violets in the background, a nice earthiness to it. Another just absolute stunner, just really outstanding. Oh, and by the way, if you didn't notice, somebody very special made the Scavenger label for 2018.
Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed our visit to Schermeister Winery. Had a great time. Of course, fell in love with Eli, but even more so, I fell in love with the wines. Just absolutely tremendous stuff. Cannot thank Laura and Robert Schermeister enough, especially for their personal attention and for the personal attention they put into their wines. Just a great husband and wife team. You're going to love this stuff. Again, get it where you can, how you can. They only make 750 to 1,000 cases in a good year. So really, you're going to have to work for it, to find it, to try it, but it is worth every ounce of energy you put into it to try it. Special thanks to Elizabeth Smith, food, wine, and travel writer. She was the one who helped set this up, who found these folks for us to visit. She was my companion throughout, and couldn't have done it without her. Thank you so much. Had a great time. You got to go try Schermeister. In the meantime, have a good one.
Well, that's it for this edition of the Great American Winery Stroopwaffle. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll come back soon. And in the meantime, drink local.